Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to a new video here on Patreon. And today we'll be doing some pretty cool stuff here. I'll be teaching you how to use the dynamic paint thing here. But before that, I'm like trying to finish this. I'm doing the Ultimate Buildings pack, and I released a demo. Not a demo, or like a render that showcased what could be done with the pack itself, and this is like what it comes with. So it's basically only buildings and like some interiors and like stuff to put on the buildings. So it's pretty boring to make a render only like with basic buildings that are aimed for the background. And I just started placing these out, and I thought I wanted to have something more in the scene, so I just started modeling this whole chaotic thing, and I just went a little overboard. And I used, like, obviously this is not in the asset pack itself, and like you don't get a Spider-Man model either. So a lot of people got confused around that, and yeah, it's totally, like, I get that. It was totally wrong of me, like, putting in this stuff. Like, it's not my assets. Like, some of these are from other sources. So, yeah, I'll probably do another, proper demo file that actually showcases, like, what the buildings and stuff, building pack comes with. So, yeah, I just wanted to clear that out. But yeah, let's get into this, this tutorial. Not too long ago I tried to recreate one of Ian Hubert's renders with like a frying pan and some oil and meatballs or whatever. So if you don't know what dynamic paint is, this is basically it. So it's like sort of like a real-time water simulation or fluid simulation, but it's not really a fluid simulation. It only like simulates waves and stuff. And if you have ever done a fluid simulation, you know that it could be pretty annoying, and it takes forever, because you have to bake particles and tweak settings for ages, and so basically what we're gonna do here is I got this bike from Free3D. You can just search for Boogie Mountain Bike 3D model, and I just downloaded it for free and did some retexturing in Blender to make it look a little better. And I also did some rigging and a few product shots here. So yeah, we're gonna use this one, and it's going to like be a pond here, and it's gonna drive like through it, and it will like make ripples and stuff. So yeah, yeah, here. So I have these wheels that are rigged up, and yeah, basically how to do that is you add a driver to the rotation. So if I want to rotate like this thing on this axis, you have to rotate it on the Y. So if you add a driver, you can hit add driver, but because I already have a driver, I can go in and edit it. So in the expression you type var, VAR, this little star sign, and either -3 or just 3, or it can be basically whatever. If I put this to 10, it will like rotate a lot, so if I move this, it will rotate a little too much. And you also have to select the controller object. So I wanted the rotation of this one to be affected by this model and how it moves. So also if it's rotating like when you at the wrong how should I say this? So let's say I move this to the side and they rotate like this. You might have to tweak the type location here. So mine is set to Y. yeah, so I'm gonna put this back to -3. Yeah, so we have the bike rigged up, ready to get animated. So yeah, probably let's start with the animation first. So I'm going to move the bike probably like this, and it's going to exit like that. So we should probably see a bit of the wheel in the beginning, so I'm gonna add a location and rotation keyframe, and we'll move forward like 70 frames, and we're gonna move this guy out like that. Maybe that's too much actually, but let's see. And also V twice to make it a linear motion. That's too slow. A little faster. We'll just have him exit the scene. Cool. Great. So I had a like very basic camera movement here. So I also just took this plane and did a little basic deforming of the ground, because we're gonna fill this in with a like a pond thing. So yeah, you can just subdivide a bit of plane and just move it down with the proportional editing. So yeah, we're going to animate this by hand so it sort of reacts to the environment. First things first, I'm going to go into the graph editor, and I'm going to animate the X rotation, I think. So N modifiers noise. No, that's the wrong one. I think it's Y. There we go. Yeah, that's correct. So we're basically going to fake like small bump movements in the ground. So 0.1 maybe, and let's bring this down a little. Yeah, maybe a little less. I think that's good. So it sort of like wobbles. Great. And yeah, that's basically what we have to do for the bicycle, and we're just gonna hand animate it going down like this. So yeah, I'm gonna add a keyframe probably right here, and I'm gonna rotate it down like that and move it down as well. And here it sort of goes through this thing, so I'm gonna move it up and move it down again. And right here, I'm gonna move it like that maybe, and bring it down. Okay, and up again, and do the same stuff for the back wheel, like so. And a little bump here. Yeah. There we go. So our animation should be done. It looks a little weird in my opinion. Why? It feels like it's a little too it's too stiff. So I think that's because we haven't really done any animating for the wheels, so I'm gonna do that too. And yeah, because of that, we should probably smooth these keyframes out a little. You can use the smooth keys to make it a little more subtle. So that should be better. Oh, whoa, whoa. What was that? Okay, that was a little weird. I'm gonna redo that. So, oh, we should probably just, man, I don't know. Let's normalize this first so we can see what's going on. So, rotation, I'm gonna select all of those and smooth them out a little. Smooth keys. That did not seem to help. Okay, never mind. We'll just have to redo this. So, can I just bring this up a little more? Yeah. And we'll have the wheels do all the work later. And here. That's too low. Okay, so let's see how this looks. And we're also gonna add some some animation to the wheels. So I'm gonna have them go down a little and have them go up and down and down again. Yeah. Okay, this looks a little too much maybe. Okay, that's better. That looks way much better. Okay. Way much better. Okay, so this should probably be enough. So we have our animation done. Let's simulate some stuff. So, I'm going to add in a plane here, and just place it like that, and yeah. So we're gonna subdivide this later. So I'm just gonna scale this so it fits. Okay, so edit mode, subdivide, and subdivide it like 50 times. You can go 60 maybe, yeah. And I'm going to add a subdivision surface modifier and set the levels in the viewport to 2, and I'm also going to shade it smooth. So yeah, we're ready to have this be affected by physics. So if you go into the physics tab, you can add a dynamic paint option. So here you're gonna make it a canvas and hit add canvas. So it's pretty simple. You just gotta go down to surface type and make it waves. So yeah, once you've done that, you can select your object that you want to like affect the canvas. So it's gonna be our wheels. So I'm gonna start with this one, and I'm gonna make this dynamic paint and brush instead. Add brush, and yeah, that's all we're gonna do. So you can see it's pretty intense at the moment, and yeah, I want to probably bring down the factor to 0.5 or something, so it's a little more subtle. Yeah, and I'm gonna do the same thing for this guy. Rigid, no, not rigid body, dynamic paint, and brush, add brush, and 0.5. Yeah, there we go. So you can even do this in real time. You can add you can have a object like a cube or something. I think this is just great. I can make this a dynamic paint, a brush, and in real time just play around with this, and that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm gonna add some decorations. I've already got that finished, so I'm just gonna add that later. But yeah, for this, how to bake it, I'm going to select this and go down into the cache. Why is it not? Oh, you have to save the file. I've not saved the file yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Okay, so if you've saved your file, you will be able to bake your simulation. So I'm gonna set this to bake all dynamics, and that will bake everything in the scene. So yeah, there we go. You can now play this back in the viewport and will be way smoother. So if we go into render mode, right now, you can see that this is just one plane. Yeah, so that's not very good. So if you go into the shader editor and make a new material, I'm gonna call this water. Okay, so you'll be greeted by a principled BSDF, and that's great. So I'm going to bring down the roughness and bring up the transmission. So here you see we have a pretty nice water texture, but it's not very like grimy or whatever, so I'm gonna make this a little more gray or like brownish or whatever, and I'm gonna add a mix shader, and we're gonna mix this with a transparent BSDF, and we're gonna change the mix factor so we just get a little bit of transparency, and we're gonna make this pretty dark, so like a grimy color. Great. So once we've done that, we can mix around a little with the transmission. So I'm gonna set this to like 9.98, 95. So in my opinion, that's a great water texture. If you want, you can add a Musgrave texture and plug it into the normal using a bump map. And here you can add like a lot of subtle waves from wind and stuff. And I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna set this to like 80 or something and crank the detail, bring down the strength. And this is a subtle way to get some extra realism. So you want to keep this very, very subtle, like 0.05. And I'm gonna bring down the roughness a little. Yeah, great. So if we would check this out, this should look pretty good. And yeah, I'll cut back when I've done all the decoration. Okay, so I've done a bit of decoration here, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. I also added like some let's see here, like these small I animated these so they would like sort of react with the water, so it like looked like some small leaves and stuff. So yeah, and I also animated these guys so they would like rotate and stuff. So yeah, it's basically ready to render, and yeah, I'll roll the render right now.